Hi everyone. In today's class, we will be going to know about the cytology. Let's begin. So, cytology means what? It is the study of the relationships and classification of the organisms using both classical systematic techniques and comparative studies of the chromosomes. Cytology is nothing but the study of chromosomes. Okay. So, the branch of biology where the organisms are classified on the basis of chromosome number, structure, and behavior of the chromosomes is known as the cytotaxonomy. Okay, cytotaxonomy means what? It is the branch of biology where the organisms are classified on the basis of the chromosome number, structure, and behavior. That is known as the cytotaxonomy. And what is the cytology? Cytology, it is nothing but the study of the relationships and classification of the organisms using both techniques, that is comparative studies as well as the systematic studies. Okay, so to understand the cytology, first we have to know about the chromosome structure. So we know that in lower classes we studied that chromosome is a structure that occurs within the cells, right? So the chromosomes, these are the structure that is found within the cells, and they contain the cells which are having the genetic material. Okay, so that genetic material which determines how an organism develops, and it is a molecule of DNA. Okay, that is deoxyribonucleic acid. And here a molecule of DNA is very long coiled structure that contain many identifiable subunits that is known as the genes, right? So the prokaryotes, or they are the cells without the nucleus, and the chromosome is with a circle of the DNA. And in eukaryotes, they are the cells with which are having the distinct nucleus. And here the chromosomes are much more complex in structure compared to the prokaryotics. And we know that the chromosomes function is to carry the genetic material from one generation to the another generation. Okay, and also the chromosomes play an important role and act as a guiding force in the growth, reproduction, repair, and regeneration of the cells, and which is most important for their survival. Okay, so the chromosomes, they protect the DNA from getting tangled and damaged. And one such field which has influenced the taxonomy to a great extent during the past few decades is the cytology. Okay, so the applications of the cytological data in illustrations of the taxonomic problems, they include the study of various attributes of the chromosomes, like chromosome number, chromosome size, chromosome morphology, and behavior of the chromosomes at meiosis, and also the chromosomal aberrations in reproduction. Okay, so to study the cytological parameters of a species, or more specifically the karyology of the species. And what is the karyology now? So the karyotype is nothing but the appearance of the somatic chromosomes and mitotic metaphase is termed as the karyotype. Okay, so karyotype means they appear like the somatic chromosomes during the metaphase, during the mitotic metaphase. Okay, so somatic chromosomes means what? The somatic chromosomes are the chromosomes which are found from the somatic cells. Okay, so these cells you see under the light microscope, they are the basic chromosome set of the somatic cells. Okay, so you will see these somatic cells of the chromosomes under the metaphase stage of the mitosis. Okay, so, the first step in cytotaxonomy is sampling of the taxon. Taxon is nothing but the levels of the taxonomy, that is species, genus, family, order, class, division, and kingdom. So, the first step in cytotaxonomy is the sampling of the taxon. And the differences in chromosome number, their morphology, and behavior at meiosis, usually it indicates the genetic differences in the taxonomic significance. And here the cytological evidences in relation to the taxonomy, it involves the three major terms of the chromosomes, that is a chromosome number, chromosome morphology, chromosome behavior. So we will study one by one. So the cytological evidence in relation to the taxonomic problems, it involves the three main terms of the chromosome characters, that is a chromosome number, morphology, and behavior. So the first one we are going to study here, that is a chromosome number. So the number of the chromosomes in a species is usually constant. Okay. So and this makes it an important taxonomic character. And here you can see in algae, that is a Chlamydomonas species, you will see the haploid set of the chromosomes in number of 10, 12, and 16. So this is a somewhat constant number of the chromosomes in Chlamydomonas. And in fungi, that is in Mucor and Hemilius, you will see two sets of chromosomes. And in ferns, that is Ophioglossum, you will see 720 chromosome number. So however, there are exceptions where the chromosome number varies, and these changes usually occurs in the chromosomes during the process of divisions, and these changes may affect the gene sequence, their number, or even they may lose the chromosomes themselves. And for example, in different species of the pepper, they show chromosome number in multiplies of the 26. Okay, so in pepper species like a pepper nigrum. Okay, so in pepper nigrum, so the chromosome number it is 52. So multiply of the 26 into 2n, that is equals to 52, right? And in pepper beetle, the chromosome number is 78. Okay, so the pepper show the chromosome number in multiplies of the 26. So in pepper nigrum it is 52, and in pepper beetle it is 78. Okay, and in wild species of pepper, in multiply of the 26 into 2n, it will become 104. Okay, so in wild species of the pepper, you will see 104 chromosome number. Okay, so the largest number of the chromosome or the highest chromosome number is usually seen in the genus of Morus nigra. So here you will get to see 308 chromosome numbers. Okay, and the slow process which results in the evolution of the new chromosomal races. So the chromosome number shows the wide range in vascular plants. Okay, so the chromosome number shows the wide range in vascular plants. Vascular plants are nothing but the pteridophytes, usually which are having the vascular system in them. Okay, so where is the vascular system absent? Usually it is absent in algae, fungi, okay, and also in some species of the bryophyte. And the lowest chromosome number in flowering plant is recorded in Haplopopas, that is Asteraceae family. Here you will see 4 chromosomes. Okay, and in the highest chromosome you will see in Poaceae family, that is of 265 chromosomes. You will see in the genus of Poa litrosa. And this great diversity of the chromosome number and their relative constancy within the population and the species, it provide an important character for taxonomic grouping of large number of the plants. And the chromosome number in relationship with the taxonomic group, it can be classified into polyploidy, euploidy, aneuploidy. Okay, also it can be classified in constant number. So the constant number in certain groups of vascular plants, right? So the chromosome number is constant throughout the whole group. Example like Curicus and other members of the Fagaceae, they have same basic number. Okay, so here n is equals to 12. So there is a constant basic number of the chromosomes like 12, and here you can see the constant numbers are nothing but 16 like this. So these are the constant numbers in species like Chlamydomonas mucor. And in Curus and other members of the Fagaceae, here we will see n is equals to 12. So it is a same sets of chromosome number. Okay, so in such cases the chromosome number is not of any help in identifying or distinguishing the various taxa within the groups. Okay, and also we will come to know about the euploidy and aneuploidy here. Euploidy means when a chromosome number in various members of taxa are in a proportion of the exact multiples. Okay, so exact multiples means, for example, in Malvaceae family, the somatic numbers in various species, it ranges from 10, 15, 20, 25 to 40. Okay, and it also ranges from 12, 18, 24 to 30, and so on. And in polyploidy, so polyploidy means the polyploidy pairs. Okay, so the closely related species in certain groups of plant may be cytologically distinguished. That is, one may be diploid while the other they may be tetraploid. Okay, such related pairs are termed as polyploidy pairs. You can see here. So polyploidy means more than two haploid sets of chromosome in a species. Okay, so the closely related species in certain groups of plants, that is one may be in a diploid and other it may be tetraploid. Okay, such related pair are termed as the polyploid pairs. And for example, in cardamine, that is 2n is equals to 16 chromosomes, right? And in Fliciosa, that 2n is equals to 32 chromosomes. Okay, so they are the polyploidy pairs. And also there is aneuploidy. Aneuploidy means if the chromosome number in the different members within the group which bear no simple numerical relationship to each other. So the different members within the group which bear no simple numerical relationship each other, then the series is termed as the aneuploidy. Okay, so the various species of Sapraceae, so the genus Carex, it shows wide range of the chromosome number. So here n is equals to 6 and it varies till 112. Okay, so it shows the aneuploidy character. So aneuploidy means what? If the chromosome number in different members within a group, okay, so within a group means within a family, so they bear no simple numerical relationship to each other. So the genus is same but the species it varies. Okay, so it usually shows wide range of differences in the species. Like example in Carex, it shows it in some species of the Carex only, it shows n is equals to 16 or n is equals to 112 or n is equals to 99. Okay, so it varies here. So this is about the characteristics of the chromosome number in relation to the taxonomic evidence. Next, moving towards the chromosome morphology. Morphology means it is nothing but the appearance or the external characters of the chromosomes. Okay, so apart from the number and size of the chromosomes of many genera and species of the plants, the conspicuous difference is in appearance of the chromosomes. Okay, so the chromosomes are best at mitotic metaphase. So the karyotype of the chromosomes, it can be characterized on the relative length of the arm of the chromosome and the position of the centromere and the presence of the satellites. And based on the position of the centromere, it is classified into four types, that is a metacentric chromosome, submetacentric chromosome, acrocentric chromosome and telocentric chromosome. So the first one, that is a metacentric chromosome. Here the position of the centromere is exactly in the center and it is having two arms which are equal in length. Okay, so this is the metacentric chromosome. And the second one, that is a submetacentric chromosome. Here the centromere is slightly away from the chromosome, that is one which is having shorter arm and another which is having long arm. So the centromere, it is slightly away from the position. And in acrocentric chromosome, the centromere is subterminal with very long arm and it is having one short arm, very short arm. And then last one, that is a telocentric chromosome. Here the position of the centromere is in the terminal with only one arm and other arm is absent. So the rarely chromosomes are acentric without the centromere chromosome. Okay, so this is about the this one, chromosome morphology. Okay, so the chromosome morphology in relation to the taxonomic evidences, it is usually studied in size and shape of the chromosomes. Okay, so to understand this concept, that is the shape of the chromosome, we have to understand that the symmetric and asymmetrical characters of the karyotype. So the karyotype, it is basically it is a simply a picture of a person's chromosome. Okay, so in order to get this picture, the chromosomes are isolated and they are stained and they are examined under a microscope. And most often this is done using the chromosomes in the white blood cells. And a picture of the chromosome is taken through the microscope. Then the picture of the chromosome is cut up with rearranged by the chromosome sizes. Okay, so then the picture, it is cutted and arranged with the help of the chromosome sizes. And the chromosomes, they are lined up from largest to the smallest arms. And the trained cytogenetist, he can look for missing up the extra pieces of the chromosomes and he can name it as the female and male sets. So this was all about the chromosome morphology in relation to the taxonomic evidence problems. And next one, that is chromosome behavior. So the chromosome behavior at meiosis. Okay, so the study of chromosome behavior at meiosis, it can provide some valuable information about the relationship of the species or the population. And the pairing of the chromosome at meiosis, it is mostly determined or formed by the chromosome number and chromosome morphology. And the kind and pairing, it can be shown in two ways, that is either in hybridization or in differences in the parental chromosomes. And such differences, it results in a translocation and inversion of the segments of the chromosomes. Translocation means here the chromosomal segment is removed from one place and it is reinserted somewhere in the genome, either in the same or in some other chromosome. Okay, that is the translocation. And inversion of the segments means what? So here a segment of the chromosome becomes reinserted in the same chromosome but at the opposite way. Okay, so it can be further be of two types, that is paracentric and pericentric. Paracentric means inversion involving only one chromosomal arm, and pericentric means inversion incorporating the centromere, that is involving both chromosomal arm. Okay, so pericentric means inversion involving at the both chromosomal arm. And also here we will study about the deletions, duplications. Deletions means an insertional or the terminal chromosomal segment is lost in deletion. Deletion means deleting the segments. Okay, and duplication means when a segment of the chromosome is represented two or more times in the chromosome of homologous pair, that is known as the duplication. Okay, so for example, let us consider two diploid species. Okay, so we have taken the two diploid species now, so which differ in structure of the two chromosome sets. And here, due to the exchange of equal segments, the hybrid between these species will have two pair with unequal gene arrangement. Okay, due to the exchange of equal segments, so the hybrid between these species, we will get two pairs with unequal gene arrangements. Okay, so the cytological evidences is of importance in interpreting the classification and establishing the relationship of the species. And the information collected from the chromosome characteristics has been found to be valuable at all levels of the taxonomic hierarchy, and the usefulness of the cytological data varies from the group to group. Also, there are many examples which help in solving the taxonomic problems with by using the cytology. Like the cytological data has provided a logical basis for improved arrangements of the tribes and genera in some families like Ranunculataceae, Brassicaceae, and Poaceae. For example, we will consider in Ranunculataceae all the genera with having n is equals to 7 chromosomes, 8 chromosomes, and the 9 chromosomes, as well as genera with long chromosomes and the short chromosomes. They have been placed under the families like Anemoniae and Helleborrhoeae. Okay, so other examples like the number and the size of the chromosomes, they are basis of the major subdivisions of the families of Poaceae. They are recognized currently. And some earlier workers have placed the genera of Yucca and Agave under the separate families of Amaryllidaceae and Liliaceae with respective. So Agave, it belongs to the family Amaryllidaceae, and Yucca, it belongs to Liliaceae family. And the cytological studies, they reveal both which are having short and long chromosomes. So the karyotype similarity, thus they justify the inclusion of the families of Agaveaceae, and which has been done in Hutchinson family of the classification. So the cytology, it is the study of morphology and physiology of the cells. Okay, so it is the study of morphology and physiology of the cells of the chromosomes. And the information about the chromosome number, shape, and pairing at the meiosis is used for the classification purpose. And the cytotaxonomy, it refers to the use of chromosome number, morphology, polyploidy level, and ploidy type, and also the chromosome abbreviations, and also the data for classifications. So the cytogenetics includes those study dealing with observations of the chromosome pairing or behavior at the meiosis. So this is all about the cytology in relation to the taxonomy or in relation to the taxonomic evidence. So cytology or cytotaxonomy, usually it helps in solving taxonomic evidences. Okay, so to solve these problems we have to understand the chromosome number, size, morphology and behavior during the meiosis. So this was all about this cytology in relation to the taxonomic evidences. I hope you guys understood well. Thank you.